I got a chance to try what may be the most controversial monster taming game to ever exist. If you pay close enough attention to this startup screen, you'll know I'm not joking. The game is called Risimon and the demo is currently available right now on Steam. You might want to try the demo now in case it gets taken down. Yes, those are piss bottles in case you're wondering. In Risimon, you take on the role of a grown man who is no longer young and still living with his mother. He is chronically online and a gooner. Our story begins when the player's mother accidentally drinks one of his bottles that he left in the fridge. It was not apple juice. This leads to him getting thrown out of his mother's house and forced to get a job. He reluctantly has no other choice but to work for a man named Doc. Doc lets the hero choose his first Risimon because he will need a Risimon as he fights his way through the Risimon world. Doc is also more than just friends with the main character's mother. He might become his stepdad. The stats for monsters in Risimon are kinda different from Pokemon because they are broken down into these categories: health, strength, defense, arcane, willpower, speed, luck, and accuracy. I'm surprised they include accuracy as a shown stat on the character menu. Another interesting detail is that your cousin in the game is a guy named Chad that all of the other characters like and admire. And now for the controversial stuff. If you haven't already noticed, the pixel art style is very similar to a famous game that many people know. And there is nothing wholesome about this e-girl character. There is a man in the game who calls himself Cosmic Christ and can actually heal your party. Sometimes you fight NPC characters with funny usernames, but they can also have monsters on their team that look like this. I have no idea what is going on with this monster's body or what it's even supposed to be. Looks like it's happy to see me, but I don't like that. Your friend and rival in this game is a guy who constantly tries to sound politically correct and also got thrown out of his mother's house. He also happens to have a bird monster with a name I probably shouldn't say. Some of the NPC characters curse a lot, with no filter. I only use this example because of how it's spelled, but many characters just say the actual words. There is a shirtless woman feminist character. The main healing stations are these vaccine trucks that function like a Poke Center equivalent. There is also an overweight blue-haired feminist. There is a TV host that has a parasitic relationship with her guest and could care less if they live or die. There are characters that are ready and willing to give all of their information to the government and throw away their individual freedoms. This character also happens to have a monster that is just a head with a syringe sticking into it. The game has an unemployment office that seems to be openly and knowingly corrupt. The game depicts police corruption and explosive violent force used on pedestrian characters during a protest. 2 characters die, and the rest of the people scatter and run as the police press into the area. I think one character was supposed to be like Kenny from South Park. A police officer even asks you if you want your share of police brutality. Before I forget, I should mention that the game does have a cool evolution animation scene when the Risimon evolve. For example, the Risimon I got here evolves into something I think it's called Mixtapesaur. The final boss in the demo is a character named Karenzilla. This is not the only Karen in the game, by the way. But this one is very proud of how big they have become, both physically and with popularity. As you can see from the battle sprite, this size is not achieved overnight. Their first monster is a piggy bank pig called Hamployee. Their ace monster is a giant behemoth called Kiranormus. The last thing I'll say is that this is a very mature game, and you should keep that in mind if you decide to play it. There were many things I left out due to spoilers and being visually mature for audiences.
If you enjoyed watching this video, be sure to subscribe and like and share. Find out what happens next time on the OFC.